Great to have you, Victor. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and learn more about where EDAMAM has been and then where it's heading, see the journey going forward. So we'll start with the first question. What new interpretation of health are you aiming to bring to people?
Okay, well, that's the big question. So ultimately, I think health and healthcare are two separate things, and most of the effort so far in the world has been focused on healthcare. The version of health, I think, is preventative health, the one type of health that you don't get sick ever. For me, health is a lifestyle whereby you never get sick from any chronic conditions. Obviously, acute conditions happen, and then healthcare is necessary. But I envision a world where people will live to 120 without ever getting any chronic condition like type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, or cancer, or any of that sort. So that's the vision of health for me.
That's great. Do you see that happening for yourself and everyone in EDAMAM?
I definitely aim for myself to make this happen. That's my personal goal, live to 120 without chronic conditions. And I hope to impact enough people around me that I can do it. Whether we can impact enough people so that it becomes something that impacts the majority of the planet, well, that's the goal. And I don't know if it's achievable within the next 50 or 100 years, but that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to hear what was before EDAMAM and what is EDAMAM right now, and where do you see the next frontier? You have your own principle of what you see of health and nutrition for the body itself, and in your journey, what did you see before, as in what solution was right for you before, and then what solutions EDAMAM has evolved to be, and like what will it create for the future?
Okay. So I guess I started EDAMAM with the idea of organizing the world's food knowledge. It was a very straightforward observation that people make food choices that are not always the best for them, the most healthy choices for them. And my goal was, okay, well, let's organize the world's food knowledge so people can have access to the right information at the right time and make the right food choices. The implication being that if people eat right, they will get better. So that's always been the mission. So the mission of the company hasn't changed. What we tried to do initially is become kind of a consumer-facing company that is providing such solutions to the end users. And pretty soon we realized that, to have the most impact, we have to meet the consumer where they make food choices. And that's not necessarily on one individual app or one website. I mean, they shop in grocery stores, they order from restaurants, they talk to dietitians. So we decided we will try to work with all those businesses. And so that's where EDAMAM is right now. It is a company that is trying to work with all the food, health, and wellness businesses in the world to provide the right information and data so those businesses, customers, patients, or employees can make the right food choices and live healthy, long lives. Now, where we're going in the future is that we're constantly on the outlook for new technologies and trying to integrate them. And our vision is a virtual nutritionist, if you will, a piece of AI that knows you very well and knows things like, what you had for breakfast, what's the blood chemistry, your blood chemistry right now, where you are right now, and what may be based on your breakfast and your blood chemistry you should have for lunch, and then suggest a couple of dishes in a local restaurant that you can order. Or if you're getting back home from work, to know what you have already in the refrigerator and be able to recommend to you, we are going back for work. There's a recipe you can cook in half an hour with those products. Do you want to do it? And if you say you do, then maybe ship a drone with another 3 ingredients that you're missing. And so when you get home, everything's ready for for you to cook the recipe, or maybe you can just order in. Whatever it is, in any case, it's a smart system that knows you, knows how you live your life, and knows what's best for you in terms of health and wellness and longevity, and then nudging and gently recommending what you should do. So that's what we are working towards. And obviously that can integrate with other lifestyle solutions, but we're focused on food for now.
That's great. And you touch on how you had to extend where nutritional data can be used in being able to reach customer where they actually make the decisions. So it leads us to the question of how is EDAMAM creating shared value within the ecosystem in different areas such as health insurance, food delivery, and food shopping?
Yeah, so we touch all of those areas, and the one common denominator that's where plays its role is that all of those areas to function better, they need accurate, deep, and relevant data. And so that happens in health insurance because if the insured people can make the right food choices, obviously they'll have less incidence of chronic conditions. They're not going to get readmitted. The cost of care will drop down, and obviously the insurance costs will go down as well. So that's one area where we add value. In food delivery, for example, it is the ability for the customer to deliver food that's customized to them based on their lifestyle or diet needs. They may say, I want something that's vegan or peanut-free, or I have type 2 diabetes and I want something that has no monosaccharides. So being able to select based on that and then order either restaurant foods or grocery foods is important. And then grocery shopping is the same. It is personalization to an extent. So our data, essentially, if I have to distill what shared value we create, with our data, we allow real-time personalization to optimize choices. And we touch really every aspect of the food health and wellness business. We work with food manufacturers, we work with food media sites, with restaurants, with catering companies, food delivery companies. We work with health insurance, population health companies, corporate wellness programs. Everywhere it is more or less the same use case. How can we help those companies, employees, patients, or customers?
For our audience, can we just share in which parts of the world today EDAMAM is operational outside of the United States?
We are worldwide, so we have our solution is primarily in English, so we tend to work with English-speaking countries, but we have clients in the UK, we have clients in India, Australia, Singapore, South Africa. We also have international clients, multinationals like Nestle and Barilla, so they actually use us all across the world. Also, we work with Amazon and Microsoft, and they're obviously global companies. So we touch consumers everywhere in the world. We think easily north of hundreds of millions, and probably with a couple of the big tech companies, we might be even reaching over 1 billion people.
So we have a feeling that EDAMAM is just a little visible part of a giant positive impact project. What happens when all the dots are interconnected and the entire ecosystem can start functioning as one?
Oh, wow. I mean, then I think that virtual nutritionist AI will extend to your entire life. It will help you sleep better. It will help you through contemplative practices, meditation, or whatever it is that calms your mind and improves it. It will help you through exercise, and it will help you in family relations, community life, so on and so forth. I mean, it's a bit of an utopian future, but ultimately, if it all works out, everybody's going to live healthy, happy, harmonious, long lives, and then the creative potential of every individual will be unlocked. So they're not going to have to, struggle to those daily decisions and then encounter the inevitability, what seems to be the inevitability of sickness in old age. So it's that utopian world of we all going to live very long lives with all our friends, with our family, and we're never going to get sick. That's the future that we're working towards. And the parts that are working, we're working in food. There are companies that are working in the meditation space, that are working in sleep, And all of those combine to create a preventative health picture that I initially.
That's great to hear. And a question on your personal journey with the personal health AI that you're creating. How has it been in kind of building towards a world without sickness, right? Like, and your relation with that goal?
Well, my personal relation is I am a bit of a biohacker. So the last 10 years or so, I've experimented with various things. And there's a degree of curiosity and willingness to take risk. But there's quite a bit of new science that's come out. And if you do this, then likely, your mitochondria is going to work better, or you're going to clean your senescent cells and so on and so forth. So I've experimented with that in my personal journey, and I've developed for myself a personalized way to live my life that allows me to be healthy, happy. I know that for the last 5 years, I haven't been sick for one day, so something is working. And so that is something that eventually I hope to translate. And there is more than obviously EDAMAM and food, because there are choices around when you wake up, circadian cycles. There are things of what you put in the body beyond food, what you surround yourself with, clean air, clean water. All of those things have an impact. And so probably a long-winded answer to your question, but my ultimate goal beyond even EDAMAM is to help people live their lives in a way that supports that healthy lifestyle and alignment of mind, body, and soul, where they're fully present and fully alive. And there are other areas that are interesting to me, such as consciousness hacking, mindfulness, psychological development, all of those areas. I haven't touched them just because you cannot do everything. On a personal level, I do quite a bit of those as well.
We love EDAMAM's mission and vision, and love the work that you're doing. And thank you so much for your sharing today with us and the audience. Be glad to have you again sometime. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.